Life is full of distractions. Every day you're pulled in 100 different directions, social media, negativity, excuses, and doubts. But if you want results, you have to lock in. Lock in on your goal. Lock in on your goal. Lock in on your vision. Stop treating your dreams like a hobby and start treating them like a mission. The world doesn't reward wishful thinking. It rewards focused action. Success doesn't come to those who try now and then. It comes to those who show up every single day with discipline. You can't half commit and expect full results. When you lock in, you eliminate excuses. You cut out distractions. You give 100% effort. No matter how hard it gets, you refuse to quit. You push through when others would stop. Some days will feel heavy. Some days will test you. And some days you'll want to give up. But that's when you remind yourself, you started for a reason. You have a goal. You have a standard. You're not here to play games. You're here to win. So stop overthinking. Stop doubting. Stop doubting. Stop waiting for the right time. Lock in and do it. Do the work. Do it tired. Do it scared. Do it when no one is watching. The moment you commit 100%, that's when you'll see the results you've been chasing. 10 key points from the speech. Focus on the goal. Keep your vision clear and avoid being pulled in by distractions. Treat dreams as missions. Approach your goals with seriousness and urgency. Consistency wins. Daily disciplined effort beats occasional motivation. Eliminate excuses. Take full responsibility for progress. Cut distractions. Create an environment that supports focus and productivity. Give 100% effort, no half commitments. Go all in. Push through challenges. Hard moments are tests of resilience. Remember why. Your purpose fuels your persistence. Act without waiting. Don't wait for perfect conditions to start. Commit fully. Success demands total dedication and follow through. In a world filled with noise, distractions are everywhere. They creep into your phone through endless notifications. They pull at your mind with gossip and drama, and they tempt you with comfort when you know you should be working. But if you want to achieve something great, the very first step is to focus on the goal. You have to know exactly where you're going, why you're going there, and what it will take to get there. Without that focus, you'll be like a ship without a compass, moving but never arriving. Focusing on your goal means locking your attention onto the outcome you want and refusing to let anything blur your vision. This doesn't mean you won't have other things happening in your life. It means you choose to prioritize your mission above distractions. Too many people fail not because they aren't capable, but because they scatter their energy in too many directions. They spend 10% here, 20% there, and never give enough to one thing to see it through. You must be different. You must pour your best energy into the thing that matters most to you. Think about an athlete training for a championship. They don't just train. They build their entire schedule around the goal. Their sleep, nutrition, workouts, and even their social life revolve around what they're chasing. That's how focus works. It's not something you do when you feel like it. It's the center of your decision making. Every choice you make should lead you closer to your goal, or you don't make that choice. Focusing on the goal also means learning to say no. No to the events that don't serve your progress. No to the people who distract or drain you. No to habits that waste time. This isn't about being antisocial or cold. It's about protecting your vision. If your dream matters to you, you'll guard it. You'll stop giving attention to things that don't push you forward. It's easy to get caught in urgent things that aren't important. True focus requires you to separate what matters from what doesn't and then live accordingly. Another critical part of focus is clarity. You can't hit a target you can't see. Write down your goal in specific, measurable terms. Instead of saying, I want to get fit, say, I will lose 15 pounds in 90 days and improve my strength so I can do 10 pull-ups. Instead of, we want to make more money, say, I will build an online business that earns $5,000 a month within 12 months. The sharper your goal, the sharper your focus will be. Vague dreams lead to vague results. But focus isn't just mental, it's practical. You have to structure your environment so it supports your concentration. If you're trying to write a book, your workspace should be free of clutter. Your phone should be away from you. Schedule should have blocked out time for writing. If you're studying for an exam, you should have a distraction-free study area, clear notes, and a daily review plan. The more intentional you are with your environment, the easier it will be to stay locked in on your mission. One trap many people fall into is chasing multiple big goals at once. While it's tempting to want to achieve everything at the same time, this usually leads to burnout and half-finished work. Focus requires prioritization. You can have more than one goal in life, but you can't give your best effort to everything at once. Pick the most important mission for this season of your life and give it your all until you've achieved it or built strong momentum. Staying focused also means being prepared for the times when your motivation fades, because it will. There will be days when your energy is low, when life throws problems at you, when you doubt yourself. That's when focus turns from a feeling into a discipline. You have to remind yourself of the bigger picture of why you started and of the reward waiting for you at the finish line. This is where having a written goal and a visual reminder can help. A vision board, a daily journal, or even a sticky note on your mirror can keep your mind centered. When you commit to focusing on your goal, you start to notice something powerful. The world gets quieter. Distractions don't pull at you as strongly. You stop chasing every shiny new thing. You stop being reactive to everything that happens around you. And instead, you start acting with intention. You're no longer busy. You're productive. You're no longer moving randomly. You're moving with purpose. This shift is what separates dreamers from achievers. Focusing on the goal doesn't mean you'll have a straight, perfect path to success. You'll still face challenges, setbacks, and unexpected turns. But when you know your destination, you can adjust your route without losing your direction. You can keep going forward no matter what happens because you're anchored to your vision. That's the power of focus. It keeps you grounded when the world tries to knock you off course. There's a big difference between wanting something and committing to it. Most people treat their dreams like hobbies, something they work on when they have time, when they feel like it, or when circumstances are perfect. That's why so many dreams never make it past the idea stage. If you want to see your vision turn into reality, you have to treat your dreams as missions, non-negotiable objectives that must be accomplished no matter what. When a soldier goes on a mission, they don't wake up and decide if they're in the mood to execute the plan. They don't say, maybe I'll do it tomorrow if I have more energy. No, the mission has a deadline, a strategy, and a clear outcome. Failure is not an option. That's exactly how you need to treat your dreams, like a mission you've been assigned and your future depends on the outcome. The problem is many people romanticize their goals without building the discipline to pursue them. They love the idea of success, but not the process it takes to achieve it. They get excited thinking about the finish line, but lose focus during the hard miles in the middle. When you treat your dream as a mission, you stop relying on temporary bursts of motivation and start relying on structured, consistent action. You understand that progress is built one deliberate step at a time. Treating your dream as a mission means creating a plan that breaks your big vision into specific, measurable actions. You don't just say, I want to start a business. You define the steps: market research, skill building, product development, marketing strategies, financial planning, and deadlines. Each of these becomes a task you execute with precision. You approach it with the seriousness of someone whose success or survival depends on completion. It also means building a sense of urgency. Missions are time sensitive. They have windows of opportunity that won't stay open forever. If you keep postponing action, you risk losing momentum or watching the chance slip away. Urgency doesn't mean rushing blindly. It means understanding that every day matters. You stop wasting time on activities that don't push you forward because you realize that every hour you spend distracted is an hour stolen from your dream. Another part of treating your dream as a mission is accountability. On a real mission, you answer to a commander, a team, or a set of rules. For your personal mission, you may not have anyone giving you orders, but you must hold yourself to the highest standard. This means setting deadlines, tracking progress, and refusing to lower your expectations just because it's hard. You can't be both the soldier and the excuse maker. You can't demand results and then give yourself permission to slack off. If you want the outcome, you must stay disciplined even when no one is watching. You also need resilience. Every mission faces obstacles. Plans don't always unfold perfectly. There will be delays, failures, and moments where you feel like quitting. But when you see your dream as a mission, you expect resistance. You prepare for it mentally. You adjust, adapt, and keep moving. You understand that setbacks are not signs to give up. They are part of the mission itself. Every challenge is another layer of training that strengthens your ability to finish. When you truly embrace your dream as a mission, you start making sacrifices. You give up short-term pleasures for long-term gain. You trade late nights of entertainment for early mornings of work. You spend less time with people who aren't aligned with your vision. You prioritize learning over lounging, progress over comfort. These sacrifices don't feel like punishment, they feel like investment. Because you know what's waiting for you at the end will be worth far more than what you gave up. There's also a mindset shift that happens. Instead of thinking, I'll try to do this, you start thinking, I must do this. Instead of saying, I hope I succeed, you say, I will succeed. You say, I will succeed. Missions are built on certainty and commitment. You no longer question whether you're capable, you focus on making it happen step by step. You stop daydreaming about success and start building it with your own hands. And here's the truth. When you start treating your dreams as missions, people notice. They see the seriousness in your actions, the discipline in your schedule, the fire in your eyes. Opportunities begin to appear, not because you're lucky, but because you've positioned yourself as someone who's ready to execute. The world rewards those who act like professionals in the pursuit of their vision. The beauty of this approach is that it also eliminates excuses. If your dream is a mission, you can't say, I didn't have time or I wasn't in the mood. Those aren't valid in mission mode. You either do the work or you don't. There's no middle ground. This clarity forces you to take responsibility for your results, good or bad. And when you own your mission fully, the satisfaction of progress becomes addictive. The truth is, treating your dreams as missions isn't about being rigid or joyless. It's about being intentional and unstoppable. It's about showing up every day with a clear purpose and doing what it takes to move forward, even when it's inconvenient. It's about giving your dream the respect it deserves, not treating it like something that can wait until a someday. Because someday is not on the calendar. The only time you can execute is now. There's a hard truth most people don't want to hear. Talent will give you a head start. Motivation will get you going. But only consistency will keep you in the game long enough to win. You can be the most gifted, the most inspired, and the most prepared. But if you can't show up day after day, your potential will remain just that, potential. Consistency is the bridge between goals and results. It's the daily actions that compound over time to create transformation. Too many people underestimate the power of small, repeated steps. They think they have to make massive leaps to achieve success, so they start big, burn out, and quit. But the ones who win are the ones who keep showing up, even when it's not exciting, even when progress feels slow, even when no one is clapping for them. Think about the difference between a flash flood and a river. A flash flood can be powerful for a moment, but it comes and goes quickly, leaving little lasting change. A river, on the other hand, flows constantly day and night, carving valleys, shaping landscapes, and moving mountains over time. Consistency is that river. It may not seem dramatic in the moment, but its power is unstoppable when sustained. One reason consistency is so powerful is because it builds habits. At first, showing up for your goal may feel like a struggle. You have to push yourself to start. But the more you repeat the action, the more natural it becomes. You don't have to think about it. It becomes part of your identity. You're no longer someone who tries to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You're no longer someone who wants to be fit. You are someone who trains daily. Habits turn effort into autopilot, and that's where progress accelerates. Consistency also builds credibility, not just with others, but with yourself. Every time you follow through on your commitment, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. You strengthen your self-belief. On the other hand, every time you break your promises to yourself, you weaken that trust and make it harder to commit in the future. Winning in life requires that you believe in your ability to follow through, and that belief comes only from consistent action. The real test of consistency comes when motivation fades. Anyone can work hard when they feel inspired or when results come quickly. But the winners are the ones who keep working when they're tired, when the excitement is gone, when progress seems invisible. This is where most people fall off. They mistake a lack of motivation for a reason to stop. But consistency doesn't care how you feel. It's a decision, not a mood. Another reason consistency wins is because it compounds over time. A single workout won't transform your body. Writing one page won't make you an author. Making one sales call won't build a business. But do it every day for weeks, months, years, and the results will be undeniable. The compounding effect of consistency is invisible at first, but eventually it becomes impossible to ignore. That's when people will call you a lucky without realizing that your so-called luck is simply the product of relentless repetition. Consistency also gives you the advantage of momentum. Once you've built the habit of showing up, it becomes harder to stop than to keep going. You've invested so much time and effort that quitting would mean throwing it all away. Momentum keeps you moving forward even when the road gets tough, and that forward motion is what separates those who finish from those who fade away. But here's something most people don't realize. Consistency isn't about perfection. You don't have to hit 100% every single day. You just have to show up more often than not and never miss twice. Missing a day happens. Life gets in the way. But if you miss 2 days in a row, you're at risk of breaking the chain and the habit starts to fade. Consistency is about minimizing those gaps so your progress stays intact. It's also important to make your actions sustainable. If you set unrealistic demands on yourself, like working out 3 hours a day when you're just starting, you'll burn out. Consistency thrives on a pace you can maintain for the long term. Start small, build gradually, and focus on keeping the chain unbroken. Over time, the actions you once struggled to do will feel effortless, and you can push yourself further without losing your rhythm. Consistency also forces you to confront your excuses. When you commit to showing up every day, you quickly learn how often you try to talk yourself out of it. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll start tomorrow. These excuses lose power when you've made the decision that quitting is not an option. You start finding ways to make it happen instead of reasons why you can't. That shift in mindset, seeing challenges as obstacles to overcome instead of barriers that stop you, is a direct result of consistent discipline. Over time, consistency creates results so undeniable that they speak for themselves. You won't have to explain your commitment, your results will show it. People will wonder how you did it, but they won't see the hundreds of days where you worked in silence, the sacrifices you made, the temptations you resisted. They won't see the mornings you woke up early or the nights you stayed focused while everyone else was relaxing. They'll just see the outcome and they'll call it success. Excuses are the most common form of self-sabotage. They're the stories we tell ourselves to justify why we're not where we want to be. They sound reasonable, they feel comfortable, and they protect our ego from the truth. But they also keep us trapped exactly where we are. If you want to lock in and do it, you have to eliminate excuses completely. An excuse is nothing more than a permission slip to quit. It's the mind's way of making failure feel acceptable. I don't have time. I'm too tired. I'm not ready yet. These phrases feel harmless, but they're poison to progress. The moment you let them in, they start multiplying. One excuse becomes two become 10, and before you know it, you've built a fortress of justifications that keeps you from moving forward. Eliminating excuses starts with taking full responsibility for your life. That means owning your results, good or bad. No blaming circumstances, no blaming other people, no blaming bad luck. The truth is, every day you choose your actions, your focus, and your priorities. If you didn't do the work, it's not because you couldn't, it's because you chose not to. That's a hard truth to swallow, but it's also empowering. Because if your choices created your current reality, your choices can also create a new one. One of the biggest sources of excuses is the search for perfect conditions. People say they'll start when they have more time, when they have more money, when they feel ready, when the timing is right. But perfect conditions don't exist. Life will always be messy, unpredictable, and full of challenges. Waiting for perfection is just a sophisticated form of procrastination. The best time to start is always now. And the people who succeed are the ones who take action despite imperfect circumstances. Another form of excuse making is comparing yourself to others. It's easy to say, they had better opportunities, or they were lucky, or they have more support. While those things may be true, they don't change the fact that you're responsible for using what you have right now to move forward. Someone else's advantage doesn't take away your ability to work. In fact, focusing on what others have is just a distraction that keeps you from building your own advantage. To truly eliminate excuses, you have to change your language. The words you use shape the way you think. Instead of saying, I didn't have time, say, I didn't make it a priority. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, oh, I haven't figured out how to do this yet. That shift forces you to take ownership and look for solutions instead of hiding behind limitations. Excuses close doors, responsibility opens them. It's also important to recognize that excuses often disguise fear. We avoid taking action not because we're incapable, but because we're afraid of failing, afraid of being judged, afraid of discovering our limits. So we cover that fear with the logical reasons to stay in our comfort zone. The problem is, comfort zones don't produce growth. Every big achievement requires stepping into uncertainty, and the faster you face your fears as wool, the faster your excuses will lose their power. Another key to eliminating excuses is surrounding yourself with the right environment. If you spend time with people who make excuses for everything, you'll start to adopt their mindset. But if you're around people who take ownership, who find solutions instead of problems, who hold themselves accountable, you'll start to do the same. Your standards rise to match the people you're closest to. Choose your circle wisely. Holding yourself accountable is critical. That means setting deadlines, tracking your progress, and being brutally honest about where you're falling short. Some people use accountability partners, mentors, or coaches to help with this. Others keep a personal journal or progress tracker. The method doesn't matter as much as the mindset. You have to measure your actions and results without sugarcoating the truth. Excuses can't survive in an environment of radical honesty. One of the most powerful ways to kill excuses is to focus on solutions instead of problems. When an obstacle appears, most people immediately start listing reasons why they can't overcome it. Instead, train yourself to ask, how can I get this done anyway? That question shifts your brain from passive to active mode. It forces you to think creatively, to adapt, and to take ownership of finding a way forward. Finally, eliminating excuses means developing a zero-quit mentality. You decide in advance that you will find a way, no matter how long it takes or how hard it gets. You commit to showing up even when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, or uncertain. That level of commitment leaves no room for a maybe later or I'll try again someday. Either you do it or you don't. And if you truly want it, you do it. Excuses feel safe, but they steal your future. They keep you comfortable today at the cost of your tomorrow. Once you see them for what they are, barriers you've built yourself, you can start tearing them down brick by brick until nothing stands between you and your goal. Distractions are dream killers. They may not seem dangerous at first. They often come disguised as harmless entertainment, casual conversations, or just a quick break. But little by little, they steal your focus, drain your energy, and delay your progress. If you're serious about achieving your goals, you have to get ruthless about cutting distractions out of your life. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Your phone lights up with notifications every few minutes. Social media feeds are designed to keep you scrolling for hours. Streaming platforms can pull you into endless episodes. Even the people around you, without meaning to, can pull your attention away from your mission. If you don't guard your focus, it will be taken from you. And once it's gone, getting it back takes time. Cutting distractions starts with awareness. You can't fix what you don't notice. Spend a few days tracking where your time goes. Write down every activity, no matter how small, and be brutally honest. You'll probably be surprised at how much of your day disappears into low-value activities. Checking your phone just for a second, watching videos that don't teach you anything, or engaging in conversations that lead nowhere. Once you see the truth, you can start making changes. One of the biggest distractions today is the constant pull of digital devices. Every ping, vibration, and pop-up pulls your brain out of focus. Studies have shown it can take over 20 minutes to fully refocus after an interruption, even if the distraction lasted only seconds. That means every time you check your phone in the middle of work, you're sacrificing deep focus and valuable time. The solution? Create tech-free zones and time blocks. Turn off non-essential notifications, keep your phone out of reach during focused work, and set specific times to check messages instead of reacting instantly. Another distraction is multitasking, which many people mistakenly believe makes them more productive. In reality, multitasking scatters your attention and reduces the quality of your work. You're not truly doing two things at once. You're constantly switching between tasks, losing focus each time. The most productive people don't try to do everything at once. They lock in on one task, complete it fully, and then move on to the next. Single tasking is a superpower in a distracted world. Your physical environment also plays a huge role in distraction. A cluttered workspace creates a cluttered mind. When your surroundings are chaotic, your brain spends energy processing that chaos. Simplify your space. Keep only the essentials you need for the task at hand. The cleaner and more organized your environment, the easier it is to focus on your work without visual noise pulling at you. People can be distractions too, sometimes more than technology. Friends, co-workers, or family members may interrupt you, invite you to activities that pull you away from your goals, or constantly vent their problems to you. While it's important to be supportive, you have to set boundaries. If you're working on something important, protect time and let people know when you're unavailable. Remember, saying yes to every request is the same as saying a no to your own progress. Not all distractions are obvious. Some are internal, your own thoughts, worries, and daydreams. If you've ever sat down to work but found yourself replaying old conversations or thinking about unrelated problems, you know what I mean. To handle mental distractions, practice techniques like mindfulness, journaling, or quick mental resets. The goal is to train your mind to stay anchored to the present moment rather than wandering into unproductive territory. Cutting distractions also means being intentional with your time. Exit your most important work for the times of day when your energy and focus are highest. For some, that's early morning. For others, it's late at night. Protect that time fiercely. Use tools like time blocking, to-do lists, and focus timers to create structure and minimize opportunities for distraction. Entertainment can also be a sneaky distraction. Sure, there's nothing wrong with relaxing, but mindless consumption can become a habit that eats away at your productive hours. Ask yourself before engaging in entertainment, is this helping me recover and recharge, or is it just numbing me and delaying my work? If it's the latter, limit it or cut it out completely until you've made significant progress on your goal. Another key to cutting distractions is replacing them with high-value activities. If you simply try to remove distractions without filling that space with something productive, your mind will find new ways to wander. For example, if you cut social media scrolling, replace that time with reading, skill building, or working on your project. By redirecting your energy into meaningful actions, you make it easier to stay focused. Finally, understand that cutting distractions is not a one-time decision, it's an ongoing practice. New distractions will always appear. The world isn't going to get quieter or slower. In fact, it will probably become more chaotic. That's why focus is a competitive advantage. Most people will give in to distractions without even realizing it. If you can resist them, you instantly put yourself ahead of the majority. When you commit to cutting distractions, you create the mental and physical space needed to do deep, meaningful work. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter and start channeling all your focus into what does. Who does? This discipline separates those who talk about their goals from those who actually achieve them. When it comes to chasing your goals, there's no such thing as halfway commitment. You can't expect full results from half effort. If you want to win, really win, you have to give everything you've got, every single time. That means no holding back, no just enough to get by, and no saving your best for later. Later is not promised. All you have is right now, and right now demands 100% from you, and 100%. Giving 100% effort doesn't just mean working hard when you feel like it. Anyone can give their best when the energy is high, when the weather is perfect, and when life is going smoothly. The real test is whether you can give that same intensity when you're tired, when things aren't going your way, and when the rewards aren't immediate. Champions are built in those moments, the moments where the average person eases up, but you push harder. There's a big difference between activity and effort. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're giving your all. Many people mistake motion for progress, but true effort is about deliberate, intentional action that moves you closer to your goal. It's about pouring your focus, energy, and skill into the task in front of you until you know you couldn't have done it better. Giving 100% effort also requires a mindset shift. You have to approach every task, no matter how small, with the mentality that it matters. Because it does. The small things stack up. The details add up. The way you do the little things determines the way you do the big things. If you cut corners in practice, you'll cut corners in competition. If you half commit to preparation, you'll half commit to execution. Excellence is a habit, and it's built through consistent full effort in every area. One of the biggest barriers to giving your all is the fear of failure. Some people hold back subconsciously because they're afraid that if they give everything and still fall short, it will hurt more. So they leave a little in the tank, convincing themselves that they could have succeeded if they really tried. But that's a lie that keeps you stuck. Holding back is not protection, it's self-sabotage. The truth is, the only way to see your full potential is to push yourself to the edge, to risk falling short and to find out what you're truly capable of. Another challenge is comfort. Comfort is the enemy of effort. When you get comfortable, you stop pushing. You settle for a good enough. But a good enough never built greatness. Giving 100% means constantly looking for ways to stretch yourself. Lifting a little heavier, running a little faster, studying a little longer, speaking a little longer, speaking a little bolder. It's about rejecting the temptation to coast, even when you're ahead. Effort is also about persistence. Some days your best won't look the same as other days. If you're sick, tired, or dealing with challenges, your 100% for that day might be less than your peak, but it's still your 100% for that moment. The point is to show up and give everything you've got with what you have right now. Over time, those days of imperfect effort still add up to massive progress. To give 100% effort, you also have to take care of yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. That means fueling your body with proper nutrition, getting enough sleep, and managing your stress. High effort is unsustainable if you're running on fumes. Treat your body and mind like an athlete, preparing for the biggest game of their life. Because in many ways you are. Environment matters too. Surround yourself with people who demand your best, who challenge you to level up, and who lead by example. Being around half-hearted people will make it easier for you to lower your own standards. But being around high performers will pull your effort upward, sometimes without you even realizing it. Giving 100% effort also requires eliminating distractions, excuses, and anything that pulls energy away from your mission. You have to protect your focus like it's your most valuable resource, because it is. Every ounce of energy you waste on things that don't matter is energy you're not putting into the things that do. Ultimately, giving 100% effort is about pride in your work, pride in your discipline, pride in knowing that you left nothing on the table. Even if the results don't come immediately, you'll sleep better knowing you gave it your all. Because the truth is, effort compounds. Day after day, week after week, the people who give their all eventually rise above the people who only give what's convenient. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this. Your dreams will not wait for you. Opportunities will not keep knocking forever. Time will not slow down so you can figure it out. You have one life, and what you do with it is completely up to you. There will always be challenges. There will always be reasons to stop, to delay, to make excuses. But champions don't take those exits. Champions lock in and keep moving forward no matter what. They understand that success is not about being lucky, it's about being relentless. So from this moment forward, cut the noise. Refuse to be average. Stop playing small with your potential. Decide that you will not just talk about it, you will do it. Take that first step today. Take the next one tomorrow. And never stop until you reach the life you've envisioned.